What's up, A to Z Sports Live on a Wednesday? Glad to have everybody along. We're going to have positive vibes today. We're going to talk not about all the things that I was getting angry and mad about yesterday, but we're going to talk about how I think the Aura Stars are aligning for Cam Ward's first win versus the Colts, a division win. And the Colts are 2-0. The Titans are 0-2. Can that be possible? I've got a list, JT. Where did my list go? I got a list right here. I'm just going to flash it. Right. It's like, 8 bullet points long. So I don't want anybody to read anything. About 8 bullet points long of why I think the Titans can win and will win on Sunday at home against the Colts. Corey just off the top says, Callie is still a bozo. So, I tried to do positive stuff off the top, and you guys are always hating it. Boondock says fixing to get murdered by the Colts. No. Positive Aura vibes only this morning. We also have a show announcement, JT. Not just one, but two, because this is going to be a fun update to our season planning as well. And look, you guys are going to be sarcastic at all you want. It's a fantasy show now, all these things, right? So we're going to have a good conversation about what I think the Colts-Titans game will look like. JT, you're going to have a Colts overview. We're going to ask you guys multiple questions about this Colts game, turning the page to the first divisional matchup of the season. And actually, I will feed your delusion. So we also have a trivia. So after we talk positively, we're going to crush trivia, JT. We're going to go 9 for 9 as a team. We are going to hit Orlando's under, but we're going to have an announcement here off the top of the show at the beginning after the official open. JT, what's up? Welcome in. Let's do it.
What's up? Good morning, A to Z crew. Good to see all of you guys in here tonight. This morning. Jeez. Robbie, good morning. Lucas, good morning. Sean, Billy, good to see all of you guys in here this morning. Going to be moving our attention to this Colts game and trying to bring the vibes a little bit up just to, we got yet another week to look ahead to. Should be an exciting matchup, one that I think for the first time in a long time, this like a Colts-Titans matchup, I think has a little bit more of an edge to it than maybe normal, but this is also the as I saw earlier in the chat, it's finally where is it? It's Jeff or also known as Elk 70 hate week. It's the yes. Jeff versus the chat week. So as King VC says,
it's always Jeff versus the chat week. What are we talking about?
Well, this week, just a little bit more special for him. But as King VC says and always says, lock in, like the show, make sure you are subscribed to the A to Z Sports YouTube channel, as well as hit that like button on the Facebook page so you don't miss any content here from the A to Z Sports channel.
Yeah. Sean King, and then we'll officially get going. He asked, where's the bingo board, Austin? Did move on to that because the Titans are so bad? No. The bingo board is like the one thing that did not get sponsored this year. Everything else sponsored, but the bingo board not sponsored. So I'm not going through the bingo board for free because that's a lot of work. Update the bingo board every damn game, multiple times a week, all that stuff. But no, let's get it going officially. Welcome to A to Z Sports here live on this Wednesday. I'm Austin Stanley alongside JT Runke. We are powered by BTA Sports to make you a better sports better and fantasy football player. We go live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. Hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. Leave us a 5-star Google review. That goes a long way for us. It helps us out as a company as a whole, but we have to thank all of our sponsors because they do make the show happen, and they help you out as well. Wilson County Hyundai, make them a part of your new car buying process in Lebanon, online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone & Joint Institute, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. The Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. They're local and online at bartondrury.com. Botero Carts, life is short, buy a golf cart. 2 locations to serve you in Gallatin and the new one that just opened this month in Columbia. And Window Nation, buy 2 windows, you get 2 free, and you don't have to pay a single dime until 2027. So we're here. Speaking of dimes, we're talking about Danny Dimes versus Indiana Jones. which one are we going to see on Sunday in Nashville. But in Nashville, we're going to have, this is the show announcement part of it. We got 2 announcements coming.
Listen
JT, you, Easton, and I met up on Broadway yesterday because we're going to have our game day shows moving forward for home and away games be on Broadway for the rest of the season. 15 games on Broadway. And guess who showed up last? Chat. Guess. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Easton showed up last.
Sorry.
Easton was the last one to show up. So, ha ha ha. So, ha ha. We make fun of Easton. Point and laugh at Easton for showing up last. But we are going to be on Broadway at, I think, I mean, it's factually the biggest TV screens on Broadway are at the Land Shark Bar and Grill, which is on the 2nd floor of Margaritaville, 4th and Broadway, right there on the corner. And we're going to be there for pregame, halftime, postgame. Shout out to Traveler Whiskey and Miller Lite for having game day specials at Margaritaville on 4th and Broad. But the 2nd floor is the Land Shark Bar and Grill. JT, we were down there yesterday. It is truly insane how many TVs they have.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It's awesome. I never thought that there would be a spot on Broadway like to watch NFL football and watch games because, you know, you think the loud music, you think all the tourists, you think all that. No, you go to that 2nd floor at the Margaritaville to the Land Shark Bar and Grill. Like it is a sports watcher's paradise. Daniel says he was at the Margaritaville for the 2019 draft. Epic. Listen, they have a full stage with the biggest LED screen TVs that I've.
What did Brian say from Margaret? I think he said it's like 18 feet tall and like 30 something feet wide.
Yes.
That one screen.
It was insane. And, you know, they have everything that you need. 2 different bars, a different section that like the acoustics like allow for you not to hear the sound from the other room. It was kind of crazy in there. And then they have 3 rows of just like reclining chairs like you would see at, you know, like one of those sports books where you can go and like just watch and bet. Like you can just go up there, sit down, order your drink, and just sit in a recliner in front of the huge TV and just watch the entire day. It is so insane. Super excited to see, to be there the next 15 weeks and hang out with all of you guys. Burning says, does it start this Sunday? Yes.
Yep.
Along with, I think when we get to when the Titans are not here away, some specials and giveaways that you guys are not going to want to miss out. Super exciting. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's a Burning Devil, yes. And we got 2 people, Jake and Daniel, saying that they were there for the draft. Were you guys hanging out together? We got two people in the chat saying they were at this Land Shark bar at the draft. So, yeah, it'll be pretty sick. So, again, once again, shout out to the Land Shark Bar and Grill at Margaritaville, 4th and Broadway. Easton and I will be there this Sunday, for our pregame, halftime, and postgame show. Traveler Whiskey, Miller Lite deals throughout game day, throughout this season. Very excited about that. And our second announcement, because guess who's back? The coolest way to get to Nissan Stadium. It is the Nashville water taxi. So with all the crazy construction that's going around with the new stadium build, if you want to arrive in style to Nissan Stadium and have a easy way in, easy way out, starting at $20 a round trip each way, 10 to 15 minutes, float down the river, rolling right up to the Nissan Stadium foot. Right there. They walk right in there on the south end zone side of things. The Nashville Water Taxi by Pontoon Saloon is the way to do it. It is pretty awesome. I've been out there last year and I'm proud to partner with them again. The NashvilleWaterTaxi.com. The NashvilleWaterTaxi.com is how to do that. So make sure that if you're looking for a better parking situation, they got you. And so Bork says, maybe we'll send JT on the boat. But they got multiple trips back and forth. So Jake, there you go. Best way to get to the stadium is by boat. So, you know, we got golf carts, happiness, boat rides, happiness, bars with big TVs. We're trying to be positive, happy vibes this morning. So now let's talk about this Colts game. JT, I'll let you cue it up because I don't know which clip it is of Cam Ward talking about the Colts from his post-game press conference. Cam was already turning the page to the divisional matchup. JT, I'll let you hit that thing.
Yeah, sorry.
I did, especially in just getting in and out of the huddle, the speed of the game. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm trying to win. And so that's what, you know, our goal is here to do, is to win. And, you know, we got to turn around fast. You know, we just got to continue to work, come in next week with the right mindset like we have every week, and, you know, just continue to try to get better.
How much of a sense of urgency is there with a divisional opponent next week coming into town?
Big sense of urgency. That's a must-win game. Every game is a must-win game, but especially in division. So, you know, I just continue to, you know, lead my guys, continue to, you know, make sure we still have that team camaraderie and, you know, just get better from one week to the next.
Must-win game. So Cam Ward's already calling it a must-win game. And so it's something that we're going to talk through here. JT, you're going to give a Colts overview because the Colts are 2-0. The Titans are 0-2. Jeff, Colts fan in the chat, says the Colts win easy by 14. So we will not do predictions today, and we don't know about JC Latham yet. Today is Wednesday, the first day of practice for this week. So we'll have to watch the injury reports for both sides roll out here. But JT is going to give an overview about this Colts team and what we've seen from Indiana Jones, Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones in the first 2 weeks, and what that means for the Titans. And we will ask you guys this question now. So JT's prepping his Colts overview. We're asking you guys, what percentage chance do you think the 0-2 Titans can beat the 2-0 Colts? So JT, first, before your Colts overview, tell everybody about Botero Carts.
Yeah, Botero Carts. Listen, their motto and call to action is very, very simple. Life is short. Buy a golf cart. I think we can all agree on that. Both those things, because life is short and it can be so much more fun if you buy a golf cart. And they, over at Botero Carts, make it easy and simple for you to achieve that in life. 0% financing for 36 months. Carts just starting at $6,700. They're open 7 days a week with full service sales and rental dealer options. Locally owned and operated with 2 locations to serve you in the Middle Tennessee area, including Gallatin, and a brand new location in Columbia. No dealer fee, no credit card fees, no, hidden fees that are going to come up on you. What you see is what you get. No credit needed option as well if you want to go that route. Indoor stored carts so that they are in perfect condition for all of your needs. Once again, Botero Carts is your one-stop shop for your golf cart needs.
Also, BTA Sports, so they're making us better. They're winning us extra money. JT and I have already eclipsed the $99 earn the money back and more spot in just 2 weeks of using the BTA Sports app. So how you do that is you click on the link in the description on our YouTube and Facebook video. You get a 14-day free trial plus $99 is the season pass with the link there, or our code ATOZ with BTA Sports to become a better sports better this football season. So JT, I'm going to keep checking in the chat on these percentages, but I will let you give everybody a Colts overview on what has been learned about this 2-0 Colts team through their 2 weeks of beating the Dolphins and beating the Broncos on their last second field goal by 1 point. So what do you got about the team in Indy?
Yeah, well, this matchup, I think there's a lot more different things this year than a normal matchup, but also some similar things. I think the biggest key for the Titans this week is that Denard Wilson in that defense is going to have a bounce back performance, right? And I think that is one of the biggest things that we need to see from last week to this week is that Denard Wilson and this defense once again have to step up and they have to play fundamentally sound defensive football. That's the biggest thing for me. Now, I will say this Colts team is 2-0, and I saw a comment earlier. I don't know where it went, but someone did point out that the Colts do have their new controlling owner, Carly Ursay-Gordon, on the sidelines of this team. So maybe that's the key to their victory. She's just pulling the strings from over there, which I think, with her iced out Cuban chains and everything that she wears on the sideline, which is ridiculous. But this Colts offense is absolutely legit. I understand that they have not punt yet. I understand that is going to change. I think the Colts probably punt this week for the first time because that cannot that cannot sustain. That is not sustainable. I believe that's how Easton put it yesterday. However, this offense is still absolutely legit, and it starts with Jonathan Taylor. leading rusher through 2 games so far this season, 236 yards. Taylor is averaging 5.49 yards per carry, which leads the league right now through 2 games, minimum 35 rushing attempts. So Jonathan Taylor looks like Jonathan Taylor. By the way, do you know who's second in yards per carry right now? Minimum 35 attempts.
In the league?
In the league.
No idea.
Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard's second, apparently. So that's
in yards per carry.
In yards per carry. So
and people are saying, stop running the football.
Exactly, right? But I mean, I think Tony Pollard's is like 4 point something, which is second. Jonathan Taylor, 5.49. Like, there's a drastic difference between first and second right there. So, like, stopping the run is going to be huge. They're going to, like, as NM Titan says right there in the chat, they need T'Vondre Sweat. Like, I think even Jannard Wilson yesterday commented on that, how much the defense missed T'Vondre Sweat last week. He's got to get better. He's got to get ready. He's got to be there this week. I think that's a non-negotiable for them. If not, they're going to be in rough shape. However, that's not the only thing, because they have Jonathan Taylor on the ground. They have a brand new weapon in Tyler Warren that has looked insane so far through 2 games. I mean, he's on pace right now through 2 games to look more efficient than even Brock Bowers did last year. I mean, he has a 5.4% target share. He's getting a fourth of the targets right now in that Colts passing game. He's averaging 14 yards per route, 8.45 yards after the catch. He has 155 yards the entire season through 2 games right now. 93 of those are after the catch. He gets that ball and he continues to extend the play, make more plays. And Daniel Jones is throwing to him as the first read almost a quarter of the time. So, like, Tyler Warren right now is this team's first passing offense or option. Like, the offense goes through Tyler Warren. And I think that's one of the biggest keys. They're going to have to figure out how to stop him as well. Otherwise, you know what they have, right? Michael Pittman at the Z, Alec Pierce on the outside at the X mainly, and then Josh Downs in the slot. Nothing new for this team. Certainly feel like you have a better handle on them, hopefully. Darius Sneed coming back, hopefully not hurt in this game against Michael Pittman. Maybe he can reset the narrative there against Michael Pittman. Otherwise, you have Jarvis Brownlee Jr. on the outside there with a safety like Amani Hooker, who's played against Alec Pierce now at least 3 or 4 times. And then you have a revamped linebacker core that is going to have to not only take care of Tyler Warren, but also Josh Downs, who absolutely destroyed the Titans last year in that slot across the middle of the field. So it's not an easy matchup by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a familiar one outside of Tyler Warren. I think it's going to be really interesting. They have a lot of different ways that they can beat you, and it'll be very, very interesting to see. On the other side, right, you have the offense, you have the Colts defense, which, once again, I know people have their questions about Brian Callahan, but it is, I think, a favorable matchup for Brian Callahan. One, because he knows this defensive coordinator really well. This defensive coordinator knows him really well. Lou Anarumo from Cincinnati is running a very similar style of offense to what they ran in Cincinnati. We saw early in the game last year against Cincinnati, the Titans, even with Will Levis, have some success against that defense.
Until they started to turn the ball over like at a crazy rate.
Until Will Levis had 4 turnovers and like 5 pass attempts.
Wow.
So like I do think that it is a matchup that Brian Callahan feels comfortable with against Lou Anarumo, and it's not like there's anything on this defense that is a world beater, right? Latu last week was banged up. I think he continues to be banged up. They're still missing a lot from that secondary, and once again, you talk about the offense and how this Colts team is coming in 2-0. First week, I think you have to maybe throw a little bit out of that game out of to the wayside, because Miami is Miami. And you know, that game in itself is just not worth taking a lot from, because it is the Miami Dolphins and that dumpster fire that's going on right there. And then Bo Nix in a bounce back game where he still didn't look very well. They end up putting 26 points, or something like that, 28 points on the Colts defense, even in a game where Bo Nix didn't look good. So like, this isn't a shut down defense. And I think my main takeaway on the offensive side of the ball if you don't have a quarterback named Tua Tagovailoa or Will Levis out on the field, I think this is a game that you can always stay in. Elk says, hope JTT makes his debut. I think he made his debut last week. He was active. So,
Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
JT Tuamaloau, I think is his name. So look at me knowing more than the Colts fan in the chat.
No. All right. So let's go ahead and get to the chat because I asked the question, what percentage chance do you think the Titans at 0-2 can beat the 2-0 Colts? And JT just gave his overview there. Jake says 35%. Elk says 25%. Titans Kyle with a 69. 6.9 from American Top. And then Billy comes back with a 69. Darren says 40. Corey says 17. Brock with 55%. Caps with 35%. Jack says 3%. All of it requires Brian Callahan resigning. Randy with a 65%. Richie, 3.16%. Anthony just says 0 chance. Lewis at 60. Burning Devil at 100. Darius at 39. Jason at 45.6. Bustin' Diamond. Callahan still the head coach, 0%. And so, can't wait to get a punt. And what? And
that's an open-ended. Oh, okay.
So that two-part comment there. Eric says 25%. Excuse me. Ashley 52%. Sean 51%. Dang. So Boondock Golf Boys Golf says 25%. Lewis 60%. And Kyle. Look, there's a lot of percentages across the entire board, right? Some people are being as negative as possible with 0%. Wes says can 100%. Will 60%. I think 60% is pretty high. So JT, do you have a percentage you want to roll with? I have one in mind that I had, and then I actually looked up. ESPN has their matchup predictor stat, so I have that on hand, but I don't want to spoil it. I had my percentage before I saw that, and now I want to know your percentage before I tell you.
Before I see that, yeah. I'm gonna go. Let's go 57% chance. I'm giving the slight edge to the Titans in this one. Once again, I think I don't think these teams are that far off from each other. I know the 2 weeks could not look different for these teams, but I think talent-wise and what they have in the coaching staff and what they have on paper from an operational standpoint, from the scheme in that, I'm not talking about anything outside of that. This team has pretty similar makeups on paper. I do also just realize that it is a divisional game, that divisional games always are a lot closer than they need to be. And then you also have the Titans being at home. So
you went 57%.
Yeah. So I think it's a toss up, but because it's a divisional game, because it's at home for the Titans, I'm going to give them a slight edge.
Okay. All right. My percentage was going to be 40%, which I still think is high. 40% is mine. Alex says over 50 is insane. So it is a 3.5 point spread to the Colts. So the Colts minus 3.5 is currently the Vegas line. Kyle says it drops dramatically if Sweat and JC are out, but I think they match up well and we'll stick to them. So I'm at 40%. The ESPN matchup predictor is Titans at 33.7%. So most people are above that, but there's a lot of people that are below 33%. And so I have a list of things, the Aura Stars, as the title of the show says. The Aura Stars are beginning to align for Cam Ward's first Titans win versus the Colts. 8 things. I'm going to roll through these 8 things. But before I roll through these 8 things, JT, tell everybody about the Bone and Joint Institute.
Yes, the Bone and Joint Institute, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedics and sports medicine. Whenever you get hurt in life, you have to know who to trust. That's why we turn to the Bone and Joint Institute, which is located in Franklin with over a dozen specialists who can help you through any type of injury. They have a state-of-the-art rehab facility on campus to help you recover, which includes everything under one roof for your convenience, clinicking, testing, imaging, surgery, and rehab. Don't fumble your recovery. To schedule an appointment, go to boneandjointtn.org.
BTA Sports, that's the title sponsor of our morning show this season, and excited about them because they've helped JT and I and Easton win some money over the first couple of weeks of this NFL season, and you can be a better sports bettor. Hit the link in the description on Facebook and YouTube. You get a 14-day free trial and a $99 season pass with BTA Sports when you sign up with that link or the code ATOZ with BTA Sports. I'm not going to spoil anything because I'm just going to tell people, if you open the BTA Sports app and you see what they predict this Titans-Colts game to be final score, you're going to go, huh, okay.
I do want to say something since the week is already over, and this is a stat because I've been tracking them. They had 8 games in which the line for at the books and their line were they had a different line for the opposing team by 5 points or more. So they thought 8 of these games were different from the books by 5 or more points. Do you want to know what they went in those games in terms of predicting those spreads?
What?
They went 7 of 8. The only game they didn't do was they had the Cowboys by a bigger favorite than that. And of course, that was a wild game that
overtime game.
In
right?
overtime,
yeah.
The game that almost ended in a tie. But besides that, they had predicted spreads that were 5 points or more different than the books, and were 7 of 8 covering,
including Titans Rams, which
yes.
I cashed in on too. So
yes, they had. I think they had the Rams as like an 11-point favorite.
Yep.
They cover, so
yeah,
they covered that 11-point spread. So there you
Pretty
go.
wild. So go check out the BTA Sports app and you'll look at this. And can you post a link to this, Malachi? It's in the YouTube. It's in the Facebook. Like if you're watching the video, like right now, if you hit the see more button, there should be a boom link right there, and you use the code ATOZ or the link. If you're on Apple, if you have an iPhone, you won't need the code. If you have a Android, then you might need the code ATOZ for your Google Play. Okay, so I have a list of 8 things of why I think the Titans will have their aura stars aligned to beat the Colts. 1, the Colts are 2-0. The Titans are 0-2. I don't think the Colts were supposed to be 2-0. Titans were supposed to be 0-2. But, that's one of them. That it's 2-0 versus 0-2. Something's going to change. The Colts have not punted. They will punt against the Titans. That's not a lot.
Is that a guarantee?
That is a guarantee. The Colts will punt against the Titans. Why? Because the Titans have been pretty good in first half defense. So they're going to punt in the first half against the Tennessee Titans defense. They might punt in the first quarter against the Titans defense. I feel good about that because the Titans have done a good job at forcing early punts, right? Maybe not in the first drive, but probably the second. And then Danny Dimes and Indiana Jones will fail. He will fall off because that is what he is. If you go look at his best seasons, they usually start pretty well, and then they kind of get back to the median there. So I do think Daniel Jones will revert towards the median slightly, not like fall off a cliff, but he's not going to continue to average 2.5 touchdowns total a game because he's got 3 rushing touchdowns. He's got 2 passing touchdowns. He's been very good. So I do not, he's accounted for every touchdown the Colts have scored. So he's not going to continue to play at that level against the Titans for 3 games in a row. I think another one is Cam Ward's growth versus a lesser defense. I don't think the Colts are a bad defense. They're just not the Rams and the Broncos. We've been over this ad nauseum for 6 weeks. Ever since they started really working.
Who's their X factor? And I know we're not trying to be we're not trying to get to Madden, but you know how most defenses have a guy who's their X and he has special abilities.
When the broadcast kicks off and it's the first
Yes.
Titans offense, Colts defense series, who are the 2 faces that are up there on the graphic? Cam Ward and probably Elikai Manor up there this week, or depends on if JC Latham's out there or not. Who's on the Colts side? Who are the 2 guys for the Colts? It's probably DeForest Buckner because it's just DeForest Buckner and Zaire Franklin, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of I mean, outside of that, it's not.
They don't have a lot of names. Again, you don't have to have names to play
Correct.
good defense at all. Kenny Moore could be an option.
Yeah, I guess
Right?
so. But like you get my point, right? There's not a
Sure.
guy that we're going into that's like this guy is going to destroy the team like we have the last 2 weeks with Nick Benito and Jared Verse. Like we're not going into this saying like they're going to destroy them.
I mean, Kenny Moore, Nick Cross, those are two defensive backs who each have a sack and pass
Yeah.
deflections that, so they've got some players. It's just not like they don't have the obvious ones that you would have from the last couple of defenses. So Cam Ward's growth in game 3 versus a less crazy defense. I think Tony Pollard and Alec Iamaner continue to grow and continue to be helpful in this offense to make plays. So I think that also continues to climb. Here's another one. This is the last two are things that I think are floating under the radar. L'Jarius Sneed revenge game. Because this is the only game that anybody remembers from L'Jarius Sneed last year. Landon says Pierce cooked Sneed. No, that was Michael Pitt most of the time. Pierce got him a couple times. But this is the game where the infamous quad injury happened. And L'Jarius Sneed was playing in that game very hurt and injured,
Yes.
where he missed the entire season after this, but he did not take himself out. That's a mistake by L'Jarius Sneed. Take yourself out if you can't do it. He could not do it. The Colts won because of that, right? Michael Pittman Jr. beat L'Jarius Sneed on the game-winning drive multiple times and for that touchdown, and L'Jarius Sneed has a chance to overcome that because L'Jarius Sneed wasn't great last year. He was fine in the first 3 games. He got beat but didn't get caught really by Tyreek Hill against the Dolphins because they had Easton playing quarterback for the Dolphins last year. But L'Jarius Sneed was bad against the Colts because he was significantly injured against the Colts. So that was my 7th. Here is my 8th, JT. The Titans are having a Ring of Honor ceremony. This is the true
correct.
aura. The true aura
Okay.
stars. And this is even wilder. This is not just the fact that the Titans are having a Ring of Honor ceremony. It's a Ring of Honor ceremony for former voice of the Titans, Mike Keith. Taylor Zarzour, new voice of the Titans, is also going to be on the call of the Tennessee UAB game on Saturday, where Mike Keith is now the voice of the Vols. So you're going to have those two guys back-to-back days in the booth together. Crazy. That is a wild alignment. I just think I think there's too much happening for the Colts to kind of revert slightly and the Titans to figure something out. So I think, and I'm just throwing 9th in here. The last time the Titans played the Colts this early in the season, it was complete disaster. The field caught on fire, and they honored 9-27. Cleanse it. It's going to be the opposite of this. The field's not catching on fire. Mike Keith's going in the Ring of Honor. The Titans are going to beat Daniel Jones and the Colts on Sunday for Cam Ward's first win.
Yeah, we can put another thing on the whiteboard with their new touchdown, like having the actual Ring of Fire with the horns now.
Yeah,
Fire, ring, everything coming
Boom.
together. There
See?
you go.
So that is so I do think a lot of this is ridiculous. I understand that. And it's partly a bit. Mr. Robinson says I'm fanboying. I'm not fanboying at this at all because I'm not a fan. I don't live it like you guys do. This is work for me. But I seriously believe that there's times in football where it doesn't make sense, but it does. And I think this is one of those times where the vibes and aura are lining up for the Titans to beat the Colts because the Colts cannot continue to play this clean of football for 3 games in a row. That's not what the Colts are going to be this year. They've played the Dolphins, who are garbage juice. The Titans, you can also say, are garbage juice. But the Dolphins are garbage juice. The Broncos, they beat the Broncos. They needed the penalty on the game-winning field goal to redo the opportunity. It was the 5th field goal they made of that game. So it's not like they're out there lighting up, they had 7 scoring drives. 5 of them were field goals. So I think the inconsistencies of Daniel Jones will come back. And I think the Titans defense is kind of scrappy enough. They just need some offensive help, because in the first 2 weeks, the Titans defense has held strong until they no longer could because they didn't have any help from their offense. I think maybe the offense gets a little bit more confidence, a little bit more life to give over and help that defense fight stronger through the second half of the game. So that is why I feel the Titans will be the Colts. And Eric says, Austin trying to keep his audience engaged. He doesn't want to lose followers. I'm not doing this for a bit, dude. Like I actually do believe the Titans are going to beat the Colts, but some of these fun, silly aura things, yeah, I'm trying to be entertaining, but I actually do think the Titans are going to beat the Colts.
Once again, like, I think someone brought it up in the chat. I don't remember who said it, but like, the Titans were not ever expected to beat the Texans last year. Divisional games are weird. Like, your expectations for what a divisional game is never going to be correct. You can try as much as you want, but there's going to be crazy things that happen. Just go with the Dolphins still last week. Dolphins Patriots, back-to-back kickoff return for touchdowns. Like, that's the kind of stuff that it happens in a divisional game, because you're so micro focused on your divisional opponent that you have so much history with, that like, things are going to happen. And I think that's another big part of this, right? Like, you're going to be so focused on certain parts of Daniel Jones that you might take it away, but like, they might beat you somewhere else, and vice versa for the Titans. It's going to happen. I will say though, to Mike Keith, like, I think that aura, you got to keep Mike Keith on the field, because the Mike Keith aura, I think, cancels out the Carly Ursay Gordon aura on the field. Like, I think that huge Cuban chain, I think you need something to counteract that. I think it's like a spell. I think you have to break that chain for them to actually punt. Like, someone just run on the field and take her chain.
It needs to be the turnover chain. The Titans defense gets the turnover, and then you just go rip it off her neck and you put it on yours.
Exactly.
The turnover chain. It's
exactly
back.
Correct.
Yeah. Look, Boondock says can't have 10 penalties and expect to win. Absolutely. Like, all these are like, yeah. And then Chris Jump says, but you say there's a 40% chance to win. Yeah, I think the Titans will win this game. I think there's a 40% chance the Titans will win. I'm not out here guaranteed. That's my prediction. The ESPN says there's a 33% chance to win. I'm 7% above.
He thinks that 40% of the time.
Yes,
you're in
and
the
I think
40%.
I think they're going to get one of those. If they play 10 times, the Titans win 4 of them. I think Sunday is going to be one of the 4. The Colts are a better team than the Titans. I'm not saying that. I just think in the NFL, sometimes weird stuff happens. And I think this game on Sunday is lining up for some goofy stuff to fall the Titans' way, because it hasn't yet.
Yes. So,
hey, Cap says, and his sports book says the Titans have a 37% chance to win. So that's what's the difference between mine and ESPN's right there. So, like, all right, let's get into some positive things about what the Titans can do. So I want to know, just from your fan brains, the optimism part of your fan brain, what is the biggest reason why you think the Titans can win? What is the biggest reason why do you think the Titans can win against the Colts? We'll get to that here in a moment. What's the biggest reason you think the Titans can win versus the Colts? I'll tell you guys about our friends at Barton Drury Insurance Group. Customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. BartonDrury.com is their website. If you're looking for any type of insurance policy, they can help you out. Insurance policies are wild. They're big words. They're things that probably give you anxiety and stress because you don't have time or the knowledge or the experience to deal with them. But Barton Drury's team does. And they have a great team of support. Their leaders are awesome. They're Middle Tennessee local and located here, and they will help you out with whatever you're looking for. And if it's a homeowner's rental, auto, they can bundle those things, an umbrella, 401k planning for your long-term future. If you are a business owner, they can help you out with employee benefits, workers' comp policy. Like, workers' comp policy is a thing that you legally have to have. A to Z Sports is a digital company. Everybody works from their homes, right? But we still have to have a workers' comp policy. And if we have somebody who we employ who works in Delaware, we have to make sure we have a workers' comp policy that fits Delaware standards. So that's a lot of crazy stuff that Zach and I don't have time to deal with. So we have the Barton Drury team help us out with that. And here's the fun part. They're Titans fans. They want this team to win. and we are tag teaming to give away a Titans jersey. If you call Barton Drury Insurance Group at their phone number, 615-806-1265, that's 615-806-1265, and you tell them you heard about A to Z Sports, and you ask them, hey, can you help me save some money on my insurance policy, whatever that policy may be, then you are entered to win an A to Z giveaway for a Titans jersey in your choice. So if you call Barton Drury, I will make sure that you have a chance to win a Titans jersey of your choice via A to Z Sports and bartondrury.com.
Yeah, also got to shout out our friends at BTA Sports. BTA, better for bettors. Use code ATOZ when you download the BTA Sports app to get the full season pass for $99 plus a 14-day free trial. Only available through September. Listen, we got 13 days left in September. You simply just download it today. You have 14 days. And then you can get your money back if you don't need to, if you don't like it, if it doesn't fit your betting style, anything like that. Like, pretty simple. But once again, it's just this month. Use the link in our show description or below the title on the Facebook page to sign up.
All right, so JT, we asked the chat here, what's the number one reason why the Titans can beat the Colts? So that's the question. I think they are. I think the Titans are going to win. And I'm going to be consistent with this. Today, I'm not on the show tomorrow. Third String Thursday between you two is coming up tomorrow. And then Friday, and then the pregame show. By the way, pregame show, first one from Margaritaville and their second floor Land Shark Sports Bar and Grill. By the way, shout out Traveler Whiskey and Miller Lite. So the pregame show is going to be different. The halftime show, the postgame show, all from the Margaritaville on Broadway, 4th and Broadway there too. So I'm going to be consistent with this. I will predict the Titans to win on Sunday at the end of the pregame show. It is a guarantee. I'm sticking with this. I think the Titans are going to win. But what's the number one reason why you think the Titans can win? JT, what's the chat saying?
Yeah, Cap starts us off and says Daniel Jones is the number one reason why the Titans can beat the Colts.
Unless there is an injury to someone who is not currently have an injury concern with the Titans. Okay. Like JC Latham, if JC Latham is out, I'm still going to have the Titans win. If Devondre Sweat is out, I'm still going to have the Titans win. If somebody else pops up on the injury report that's not one of those two guys, I have the right to change my prediction.
Yeah, so he thinks Daniel Jones has a back-to-earth type of day. Daniel Caribbean with, I think, a sneaky good one. Chimere Dike, does the stars align on that as well? And nothing goes wrong?
How about this? I've already added a 9th thing to my list. I'm going to add a 10th. Colt Anderson special teams revenge. Colt Anderson was a special teamer for the Colts for years. And now that he's out, Tim DK is going to pay back Colt Anderson's old team with special teams brilliance with John Bones Fossil.
Okay. Billy,
that's
Jake,
for Eric Torres.
Billy, Jake, Sean all say Cam Ward is the number one reason why the Titans have a chance or do in fact beat the Colts this weekend. Zachary says Big Jeff is going to be a big reason. Penalties, another one here from is that Cause or COS 66 says penalties, eliminating those penalties is going to be huge. Darius says Cam and Callahan's familiarity with that defense is going to be the biggest reason there. Corey says Kill a Cam is going to be the biggest reason there. Mr. Wright says Tony Pollard. Zach P says Indiana Jones and Cam Ward is the biggest number one reason why the Titans win against the Colts this week. Cam Ward breaks out. A lot of people thinking Cam Ward is going to have his true breakout game this week here. Jeff says slowing the run game with our new revamped O-line is the only thing he can think of for the Titans to have a chance to beat the Colts this week. Joshua says offensive line or offense finally clicks and we fix the penalties. Offensive line has a lot to do with that. Darren says, and the defense never holding a full game or, just holding on for a full game. Vols just says nothing. There's no reason why the Titans will win against the Colts.
None? Come on.
None. Jeremy says Cam and Elliott continuing their connection. Jay says Joey Sly is the biggest reason why the Titans win this week. Could be a field goal match once again.
I mean, yeah. How many, quick off the top of your head, how many combined field goals have the Colts and Titans kicked against this Broncos team? Go. Go, hurry, quick.
9.
Okay, 9. You're right.
Cool. Antoine Barry says Tony Pollard is the biggest reason why they will win this week. Andrew says Dan Moore is the biggest reason why the Titans win this week against the Colts. So a lot of different ones, but the one I want to point out, which nobody up here has said until just now. So like that was like what, 20-ish comments or something like that. Like Eric, I think, points out, and I think it's one of the biggest reasons the Titans have a chance this week. Eric says 1-0. Cam Ward to Calvin Ridley. We've been waiting for it. I think this coaching staff has been waiting for it. I think Cam and Calvin have been waiting for it.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be, I think there is a narrative to be pushed that Calvin Ridley has not done enough or has not been the guy that they need so far.
Correct. There have been, I think, 3 balls that he could have caught. Two straight up drops. One of them an arguable drop because the one from Sunday where the defender squarely punched the football out.
Yes.
It was a good defensive play, right?
Yes.
The yards are there for Calvin, right?
The opportunities are also there. Like,
yeah,
there's the drops, and then there's the, once again, what you guys were saying yesterday, what I said Monday, the ability for Cam to continue to see better, to finally pull that trigger, to finally get on top of this offense, not leave, as Easton put it, meat on the table or meat on the bone. There are opportunities that it's not just all Calvin, but for Cam to finally pull the trigger, fit the ball in there to Calvin Ridley, where Calvin Ridley can only get it because we know Cam has that type of arm strength and that type of ball placement. Mm-hmm. Like, this is the week I think that they need to finally click. And if they do, which I think they need to, that it's going to prove dividends for this team. And I think it starts this week. I think they need to both step up. Maybe Calvin a little bit more than Cam, absolutely. But in that connection, they both need to step up there. And I think Calvin Ridley, once again, your first week, you were playing against maybe the best corner in all of football still going into this year, defensive player of the year last year. Last week, you played against a defense that went exactly against Cam Ward's style. And even though they didn't have a guy on the outside that really, is a top tier type of corner, you still weren't getting those opportunities. This week, you're playing a defense that Callahan knows very, very well. You have the beatable corners out there. There's no excuse for Calvin Ridley not to show up.
So that's your answer.
That's my answer.
Cam to Calvin. Okay. My answer is the Colts defensive front, and the difference in the Colts defensive front versus the Rams and Broncos defensive front. Because the Colts through 2 games have 1 sack from a defensive front player. They have 2 sacks from safeties. The Titans have 1 sack from a defensive front player, and they have 1 sack from a safety. So,
which, by the way, I had no idea that was Amani Hooker's first sack ever. That's crazy.
Really? That is wild, because I feel like he's been back there quite a bit in his career. So the reasoning I'm getting at is like how we've seen where Titans have had plays flat out ruined because Dan Moore or John Ojukwu get beat immediately, right?
Yes.
I think Cam has shown that he has time often. Like, there's a lot of dropbacks where he's back there with plenty of time, but no separation, or or like Easton was saying yesterday, Cam in college was reading deep to short, where in the pros, you need to read short to deep. Right. And I think if Cam can flip that mindset, that there's more there underneath quicker to get the ball out. And so I think there's more time if there's not that dude, there's not that dog coming off the Colts edge like the Titans have faced the last couple of weeks to lose instantly. And so I think that gives the Titans a better opportunity to run an offense and get into a rhythm, because it is over. When John Ojukwu went Olay on Byron Young, that first sack, you're like, well, this is going to be a long day. That was early, and Dan Moore got it. He held and it still didn't work. But the Colts, Latu, I don't know how banged up he is or isn't, but He's only played, I don't know what game he missed. Did he miss this week 2?
Yeah, he missed week 2.
Yeah, so we'll that's something to monitor, right? Just with J.C. Latham and Tavondre Sweat, we need to monitor Latte Latu. We need to monitor the Colts corners in secondary situation with some injury stuff. But they don't have that dog on the outside. And I think that obviously helps. So that is where I think that the biggest advantage the Titans have is they're not playing against the guy who can just whoop their ass from the snap.
Yes, I absolutely agree. And if that does come to fruition, then hope might dwindle very fast. But I do agree. Like it is a more combined team effort this week versus the team effort. I think it also just like we have a clip. We haven't played the clip from Callahan. I think there's just a also overwhelmingly bigger sense of urgency that you couldn't have had before the season started that they have now. And I think both Callahans, Brill, I tried to combine their name there, Bill and Brian have a heightened sense of urgency that I think maybe doesn't show itself like it did last year, but probably I want to say that this sense of urgency is on par with what they felt during the Patriots game last year.
Okay, let's play the clip from Brian Callahan. This is from Monday, talking about this pressure to win.
Brian, at some point, pressure building to break through and get a win. I know that this is a new season, but there's a skid now that's going back to last season. And with this being the second home game, then you go on the road for 3 games, excuse me. How much does that mean? Just get a win right now.
Yeah, our urgency is high to get a win. That hasn't changed. It's been a high for 2 weeks now. I mean, it's not for lack of urgency or lack of intent. Certainly would love to get a win so that our players can feel that feeling and we can get ourselves on the right track. Those are things that we're all working hard towards. I don't, it's just one of those things that when you've lost the amount of games that we have over the time that we've done it, you're searching for that feeling and searching for that performance that allows you to go win a game. And thus far through 2 games, a lot of good things, but ultimately not enough to win them. And we got to find a way to go win a game at the end of the day. And that's always going to be our goal. And our urgency is incredibly high to go do that.
And it's a very simple answer, but I do think that this team, like, there's patience, but there's always going to be that pressure to win is still in the patience. And I think this week for both Callahans, I think this is also a Bill Callahan week. Like, he needs to show up or we're going to start having big questions about him that I don't think any media group that he's been involved in before has ever asked him. And I think that's a huge thing.
Yeah. Chase asked, how much different do y'all think it would be if Latham didn't get hurt? I think the end of the Broncos game would have been the Titans would have a better chance to do something at the end of the Broncos game. I don't think the Rams game would have been any different. I think the Rams would have still won by a couple scores. Yeah. But I think JC would make a big difference in this game if he's there. NM Titans said Pollard needs to pass block better. I think Tony Pollard's been pretty good in the few reps that I've seen of him pass protecting. He's been physical at the point of contact. And so if Latham's out there, then you only have to worry really about Dan Moore's side for the most part, with some chipping as well. So Amnesia has a super chat here. Says Cam starting off against the best defense is a good thing. Cam has been pretty good against the top defenses. He's going to eat these Colts alive. Like, I don't think he's going to eat the Colts alive, but I do think there's a little bit of like, you saw the hard stuff first. So now whatever is after that, you understand it a little bit. You feel it, you see it a little differently. You understand what the NFL means with that. So I think the Titans are going to win. I do. So I think that's going to be something to look at. I also have another question that I want to ask about the division as a whole. We'll get to that here in a moment. So the division's kind of in a weird spot. If the Titans beat the Colts, the division is flipped upside down. So we'll get to a comment here on the division But first, I want to tell you guys about Window Nation. WindowNation.com is the website. That's where I went last week, to WindowNation.com. I typed in my quick information, name, email, address, phone number, boom, to get a free estimate for Window Nation to come look at my windows, to upgrade them, because we've got the builder grade windows. We've been in this house for almost 2 years now, and we've had new windows on our long-term plan list. Well, Window Nation has their best deal of the year going on right now for this month of September. It's halfway through, so make sure you jump on it because on Friday afternoon, they're coming to my house for our estimation. You get a free estimate. You get 2 windows free once you buy 2 windows, and you don't have to pay anything for 2 years. So that's no down payment, no anything, nothing on these windows, no monthly payment as well. They got you covered with Window Nation. Buy 2 windows, get 2 windows for absolutely free, and no payments needed for 2 full years after you buy, but it's only this month at windownation.com.
Yeah, also shout out BTA Sports, BTA, where insight meets instinct. Use code ATOZ when you download the BTA Sports app to get the full season pass for $99 plus a 14-day free trial, only available through September. You can use the link in the show description or right below that title on the Facebook page to download and sign up and start winning more bets.
Yes, BTA. So make sure you hit that link in the description and Facebook right there as well. So, week 3 is going to be fascinating for the AFC South because the Colts are 2-0, the Texans and Titans are 0-2, and the Jags are 1-1. Everybody plays everybody, right? It's the Titans play the Colts, the Texans are at the Jags. What if the Titans win, the Texans win? Now you've got the Colts at 2-1 and everybody else at 1-2. And 2 of the 1 and 2 teams have division wins over the others. Like this AFC South, we all assumed was just the Texans were going to win it, but they're 0-2. The Chiefs are 0-2. There's some 0-2. I think those are the 2 most surprising 0-2 teams. I was just curious to ask the audience here is, does this 0-2 Texans start change the way you see this division playing out at all? Like, can the Colts win it? Like, is it up for grabs, or is it the Texans are just going to win it? It's just going to take longer for them to run away with it. That's what I'm curious about. Is this 0-2 Texans start changing the way you view the AFC South 3 months from now? Darren just says nope. JT, as the audience chat rolls in with some answers, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I still think that this Texans team figures it out, but I do think that it's not a guarantee anymore. I think this gets a lot closer because I think the Colts start to have some bumpy road, and I think this is still a division where 9-8 wins it. I think that's the landscape that I'm now realizing is that we thought the Texans would still be a pretty efficient team, and they still might end up turning into that because the 2 games that they played, they played the Rams close-ish. They had a chance to win that game at the end of the game and couldn't do it. So they had the ball. They were in control of being able to win that game. Weren't able to do it. They tried to come back against the Buccaneers, who looked a little sluggish. They were in that game till the end there, also had a chance to win that game. So they're an 0-2, but it's been closer than a lot of these other games for these teams. The Jags, I think you can say the same thing. They probably should have won that game that Joe Burrow leaves last week.
But that makes that one loss even worse though, right?
Yeah, I think so. And they could not convert in the red zone against one of the worst defenses in the league. So, it's going to be, I think, more of a dogfight than I thought it would be. And I think that you start to see the Colts have some troubles, maybe even we're saying this week, they go to 2-1, Titans go to 1-2, Jags, whoever wins that matchup, I think the Texans could win that matchup, and then there you go. They're 1-2. Same with the Titans and the Jags, and the Colts are 2-1. That game's a game away. I think But I do think where I'm realizing is that there's not going to be, at least right now, from what I understand this division to be, there's not going to be a 10 or 11 win team that wins this division. I think it's a 9-8 team. Like, I think it's like the NFC South of recent years, right? Like, it's going to be whoever can outlast and just survive to the end. And they go into the playoffs as the 4th seed in the playoff.
I think it's a 4th seed race. I think if the Texans started 1-2, then they're a 10-7, 11-6 ceiling. But now, they have issues, right? Like, like the offensive line is really bad. The defense is good, but the Texans are not a great team, good team by any means right now. So they have issues they got to work through as well. So I'm trying to look through the comments and seeing like a consensus here. As I'm trying to scroll back up to the top of where this all started. Do you see the Texans or the AFC South playing out any differently because of the 0-2 start? Corey just says not at all. Let's see. Darius says yes, because they haven't looked good on top of them being 0-2. Billy just says no. Darren says Texans are just going to take a little longer. So Vol says after this week, Colts 3-0, Houston, Jags 1-2, Titans 0-3. You all assume that Houston would win it all because I have no idea why. I put money on the Colts to win it. Okay. I mean, yeah, right now, NM Titan says anyone's division at this point. Kenneth says all up for grabs. Randy says all 4 are in it. I mean, I think if the Titans win, then all 4 are in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think even if the Jags beat the Texans and the Texans are 0-3, and the Titans beat the Colts, all 3 are in it. What would be wild is if the Colts go to 3-0 and the Jags beat the Texans and you got a 3-0 Colts, 0-3 Texans. It's a big gap. It's a big hole for the Texans to climb out of.
I mean, and then you go, like, if this is playing a lot of what if, but like you're going to have right after the Colts. I know someone said like, who do the Titans play after the Colts? They haven't yet another divisional game against the Texans, in which the Jags then go play the 49ers at 49ers and the Colts go play at the Rams. So like it could continue that way. I mean, if they get a win. So
it is that's why I really feel like the Titans beating the Colts is something that they desperately need. I think the fan base desperately needs it. A 1-2 record and a win against the Colts going and to the Texans the week after, and the Texans are not great either, man. And you just mentioned like the Colts, Rams, that should be a loss. So in Orlando says this is a must win. Yeah, that's what Cam Ward said at the very beginning of the show, that it's a must win overall. So I want to get to a super chat here before we move on to trivia, which is also a must win. Trivia must win. Absolutely. Let's see. Billy says, always hire first-time coaches. It takes time for them to learn. That is 100% true. The last time the Titans have not hired a first-time coach was Ken Wisenhunt. And that went horribly wrong. King VC says, chat, use this service. The water taxi is legit. So I'll tell you guys again, shout out to King VC. If you want to head to Nissan Stadium in style, the NashvilleWaterTaxi.com is where to do that. For every home game from the Pontoon Saloon, the Nashville Water Taxi, it's a $20 round trip, a 10 to 15 minute taxi on the water to and from the game for all home games this season. It is awesome. It's a way better parking situation because also downtown is crazy with the construction. So parking has spread the radius. So it's harder to get out of downtown right there. So the water taxi is how to do it. 10 to 15 minute boat ride. It's a fun spot. You can tailgate as well on the grounds, and they have multiple trips of their schedule back and forth. They're just telling people back and forth. So it's also BYOB. You can bring your drink on the boat, but you can't bring your drink off the boat. Note, bring your drink on the boat, but you have to finish your drink on the boat or trash it to get off the boat. So that's something else too, right? You can literally bring one for the water. So that's fun. All right, JT, are you ready for a little trivia to wrap up this Wednesday show?
Oh yeah.
Shout out to our friends at Wilson County Hyundai, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Make them a part of your new car buying process. That's where you should go, Lebanon, Tennessee, to save some money. Check them out at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. I am ready. If you
I'm ready.
Ready. Let's try to do this. smoothly for trivia. Here we go. How are we looking? There's always
There we go. Okay.
okay. Oh man, just
I was waiting a lot longer than I thought I would. Wow.
Right? Same.
Okay.
That was wild.
Orlando says 5.5. Being bold. He has no faith. But that's
Okay.
good for us. So
No Googling in the Fed says that's true. No
Yes.
Googling. We try to go so
Correct.
fast that Googling's not even an option. All right.
that's what we try.
We try.
But there's book. I see books and I see soccer, and I think, oh no.
Yeah.
So
That's not good for
we'll
me either.
see. No.
Okay. NFL. Greg Olson played his final season with his NFC West team in 2020.
Seahawks, right?
I don't know.
I think Seahawks.
Okay. You're correct. Books. 1847 Emily Bronte gothic romantic drama novel is getting adapted to a 2026 film starring Margot Robbie and Jacob. I don't know.
Elordi? I don't know this.
Somebody's a movie person who has seen something coming up with Margot Robbie and Jacob, whoever that is.
Yeah. Wuthering Heights.
Sure.
Is that a
Yeah, it's a thing.
okay?
Okay.
All right. There you go.
TV.
Thank
Bruce
you, Rick.
Willis and Sybil Shepherd played a private detective partners in this ABC dramedy from 85 to 89. Oh gosh.
I had no idea.
This is old. Moonstruck?
Moonstruck. Moonlighting. Moonlighting is what the chat believes.
Okay.
All right.
Movies. All right. Katherine Heigl played an uptight, hopeless romantic TV producer, and Gerard Butler played a crass, cynical TV personality in this 09 rom-com. I have seen this, but I don't know what it's called.
Once again, I got no idea.
The Ugly
The
Truth.
Ugly
That's
Truth?
it. Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right. Music. I'm done hiding. Now I'm shining. I'm born to be. We dreaming hard. We came so far. Now I believe we're going up, up, up from this 2025 100X song.
2025.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. What the hell
Yeah,
that
I'm a
is.
liability today. I'm sorry. I've got 1 out of 4. I'm not
Golden.
Golden. What? By who is Hunter?
Okay, I don't know. Beverages. La Playa awaits the new slogan for this brand of beer.
Is that
Is this
Corona?
Corona?
I want to say. Well, I
think
want to
it's Corona.
say. I think it is too, but
Is it? It's not Modelo.
no. Corona's the only one that
Or
has.
It's not Dos Equis either.
No.
I'm waiting for somebody to say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we have to go Corona.
Let's send it.
Okay,
There's
we
some
got it.
people who are
Soccer.
still on moonlighting.
Athletic Bilbao is a pro soccer club located in what country? That's Spain?
I'm gonna
I
go
don't know.
Spain. That was my first. That was my first shot. I'm going with it. Put me on the board. Put some respect on my name. Go.
You want,
do it.
are we jumping at it, or do we want to wait?
I need
for
it.
somebody?
I need it. I need it. American
Wait,
Top
Spain's
says
on
Spain.
your-
I need it.
Okay. There we go.
Yes.
NBA.
Okay.
As a rookie, the 76ers center averaged career high 17.5 points in 2015 to 2016. Career high Sixers center from 10 years ago.
It's not Joel, right?
Joel Embiid? Has he been in the league for 10 years?
Feels like it.
Career high set. No. He's had more than 17.5 points in a game, right? Yes. There's no way it's Embiid.
Greg Oden?
No,
I don't know who
Greg
that
Oden's
is.
not 76ers. It
Everyone
can't
says
be Embiid.
Okafor?
Okafor?
That sounds
No.
right. That sounds right.
Emeka? Okafor?
Jaleel? Nerlens Noel?
Nerlens, no.
Hmm. A lot of
Nerlens
people
Noel is
said-
not bad, actually.
A lot of people say Okafor.
Corey says Okafor. Jalil Okafor?
Yeah.
Got it. All right, celebrity mashup. Who is this?
Oh,
That's the outside is, I know it. I know the outside. It's Russell Crowe.
yeah, that's a good.
And the
Is that Jason
inside-
Bateman?
Yes. Oh,
Let's go.
436.
Let's
Let's
go.
do it.
Huge.
Yes, sir.
Huge. Listen, I think I bounced back there. I think I called my shot with Spain, and then I got Jason Bateman. I think, and Corona as well. So like, I think we finished strong.
We would have been, if we did not pause the the Okafor took us the longest. We were
Yes.
cooking there pretty good. All right. Hey, good trivia. I like it.
Very
let's
good.
see. Let's see how easy this was, because it seemed pretty easy to me. Well, the music and the movies were hard, and
Yes.
you know, the bottom L was tough, and the
Yes.
chat carried us through that 100%.
Very, very tough. Thank you,
because we
chat.
did not. That's where the
Yes.
chat came in to win. But we're a team. All right, guys, that is it for us. Make sure you hit that like button, like the show before you go. Don't forget, on Sunday, our first pregame, halftime, postgame show at Margaritaville in their second floor sports bar, the Land Shark Sports Bar, with the biggest screens on Broadway. That is not an exaggeration. They are literally the biggest TV screens on Broadway, maybe the most TV screens on Broadway per square foot, because it's crazy. So make sure you check that out with us. Come hang out with Traveler Whiskey and Miller Lite. So we'll see you guys tomorrow on a Thursday. Buck Rising live tonight for A to Z Sports Primetime. Catch you later. See ya.